Today's trading session was much more disciplined than yesterday's. Again, I focused exclusively on the Mag 7 stocks and for the most part followed my rules. Was today perfect? No, but compared to yesterday, it wasn't even close. I entered my first trade earlier than I prefer rather than waiting the full 30 minutes after open. There were also times where I was managing multiple positions simultaneously, which makes risk management more difficult. I also had a few stop-outs and re-entries throughout the morning. The difference, however, was that today's decisions were based much more on what I was seeing in the charts and much less on emotion. Most importantly, I never exceeded my maximum position size of 50 shares. I didn't chase losses, and I never found myself hoping the market would bail me out of a bad position. My biggest lesson from today happened after I had already reached the lower end of my daily profit goal. By 8:55 this morning, I was already approaching $250 in profit and could feel my focus starting to fade. I was getting mentally tired and was beginning to think about stepping away, but the chart still looked good. This was one of the setups that kept me in. Looking at it, I thought there was still a good opportunity available and decided to stay engaged, so I went short 25 shares on Apple. A few minutes later, I saw another setup with Tesla, so went short 25 shares on that as well. Again, it looked attractive and the trade worked out exactly as I expected. And then I saw another nice setup almost immediately after closing my short position on Apple by reversing the trade and going long 50 shares. Again, it worked and was now up $350 for the day. This is where I started recognizing something important. The charts weren't the problem. The setups weren't the problem. The problem was that I was becoming fatigued. I was still trading because I was still seeing opportunities rather than asking whether I was still mentally sharp enough to take advantage of them. Several of those trades worked and again pushed my profit for the day up to $350. That's what made it hard to stop. But the real lesson wasn't about profit. The real lesson was recognizing when it was time to stop. The old version of me would have kept trading as it was only 10:15 and was still $150 out from my $500 max goal limit. The old version of me would have convinced himself that one more trade couldn't hurt. Today I didn't. With my positions closed and already within my goal range, I was successful at walking away at 10:15 and booking the gains. Today's outcome was good. More importantly, the process was better. I'm not giving myself a 10 out of 10 because there are still things I need to improve. But today I wasn't about getting lucky. Today was about following the rules, managing risk, and recognizing that when it was time to stop. Yesterday I made money and traded poorly. Today I made money and traded better. One day does not create consistency, but it might be the first step towards it. I'll find out tomorrow.